Welcome to our It's Electra series.
In this series, we're going to share with you gear based on and inspired by the Electra Distortion circuit.
Join us on this journey where we get the most tone out of the least circuit. All right, today we're going to look at a module, but before I get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry, and in this case, Stokka Engineering Services has sent us over a new overdrive module, and the Beard's going to tell you what it's based on and some very basic information about this really cool.
Yeah, it's, first of all, I love the fact that there's still printing these and making new modules for, and if you're new to this, if you have no idea what we're talking about module, this is for, I think we have to say first, this is an Electra guitar. We did this whole series on it's Electra on the Electra circuit, the distortion circuit.
It's like and that 78 or something like that.
Yeah, that took us down the rabbit hole of the Electra stuff. We got into the MPC guitar. So this is an MPC guitar, and on the back, you got this little compartment with a battery sticking out where you can put two modules. And so this is the module. This is a module. Cool thing is, this is not one of the original modules back in the 70s they were selling. This is something that Eric over at Stokka came up with. And it's based on, because why wouldn't it be, the Klon.
Yeah, so, Klon Centaur, yep.
With the only real difference, according to him, is it doesn't have the buffer in it, because this is going into the guitar typically pre-volume knob. So just with the way that circuit and the guitar works, or the way it's laid out, putting the buffer in wouldn't make sense.
Right.
I got to tell you, I'm still kind of like, what would the meh like about Klons, right?
Yeah.
Every once in a while,
we said it. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while I plug one in. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really good, but I mean, as an overall thing, Klon's not my favorite. Right. We plugged this into the guitar, and I was like, whoa.
I don't think you even touched anything. You just popped it in.
And we both were like, that sounds great. And I have some theories about that. I mean, I think he probably did a good job on the circuit. I wonder, in that MPC, those pickups can be kind of dark. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily my favorite pickups, and I wonder if this kind of accentuates or like brings out the parts that I don't like about them and pops that up and makes. But I thought, to the point where that jam at the beginning was kind of like, dude, let's just record a jam with this really quick. I want to hear what it sounds like.
Right.
So, to break it down, you have this cool slider on the front. That is a slider. You'll be able to see that a little more clear on the overhead. That goes from 0 to 10. That's your gain. You have a little trim pod up here at the top for output, and we have it not all the way up. Like if you went all the way up and backed it like a quarter turn down a little bit, and then the knob on the Electra becomes the tone knob.
Right.
So why don't I take the Electra, pop in the module, and just roll the tone all the way down, and just play the same riff over and over, slowly rolling that tone up so you can hear how the tone affects it. And then I'm going to roll the volume down, because remember, this is pre-volume knob. So if you're expecting it to clean up as you roll the volume down, it won't.
Right.
This is pre-volume knob.
All right, in this next section, we're going to use the Stomp Cradle that Eric Stokka has created, where you can put your module right in it, put it on the ground or on the pedal, on the demo board, and you can manipulate the tone with this knob. And then it exposes, as you'll see, the top here, where you can easily access the gain, which is why we wanted to show it to you here. Because if we did it in the back of the guitar, it'd be hard to see. But when you do that, it allows you to play any guitar you want. And I grabbed the Silver Sky SE because we're very familiar with it and put it in the 2 position. And we ran through this and we manipulated both the tone and the gain.
So you can really hear the difference in range of, like, you can go from almost like a boost, and we had it all the way down when I first hit the volume knob on and off a couple times, just so you could hear it's a little bit of a boost, and plus there was still a little bit more to go in the volume. So we could goose the volume a little bit. The range of the treble knob, it is kind of weird because then you get a like tone knob for the module on the guitar, but you also have a tone knob for the guitar.
Right.
And don't ask how he got that magically in his hands. It went from the Silver Sky to that. It's amazing. How about final thoughts?
I was pleasantly surprised. And we haven't done a module in quite some time. So it's always, we're going to pull this out. Is it going to be wonky? Is it going to do weird stuff? You popped it in and started to play. It sounded great. Yeah. Which is why we jammed up front, right? Because it was like so inspiring. Not to knock the other ones, and my ears are miles away from the last module we've done, but just to pop it in here and play it, I thought it sounded really good. Like you were talking about the quirkiness of this, maybe it affected that. But then when you put it in the Stomp Cradle, I thought it sounded great with the Silver Sky as well. And we said earlier, we struggle a little bit with the K-style pedals sometimes, but not this.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just the fact that there's no buffer in there. And so, like, you have to disclaimer this a little bit. Does it sound like a Klon?
Right.
There was things, like when I first played it in the Electra, I wasn't sure. Right? Because those pickups are...
Whatever, right.
They're so different. There's something... we could probably do a whole episode on just the pickups in there and the way it's wired or whatever. Like, it's a little different. But when he plugged in the Silver Sky into the Cradle and started playing, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I hear Klon. I've never had a real Klon on my board, but we have had the Warm Audio Klon, whatever that's the Warm Audio Centavo. Yeah, we've had multiple J Rockets. We've had the Mythos
Milner is a really nice one to go on, as far as I know.
So we've had Klon style pedals down here before, and I thought, well, that really sat in that category with the other ones we have. So one of the things I love about this, if you do have an MPC guitar, and I imagine most of the people that are watching these have MPC guitars.
Or you're really bored.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to get some of those original modules, and some of those, like Pat kind of alluded to, some of the original modules can be really wonky. We've had the treble bass. We've had several treble bass modules down here, and not one of them apparently sounds anything like what they sounded like back in the 70s. Whether parts are going bad or whatever. So I was really impressed. Like, if you have an Electra and you like to gig with it and stuff, between Stokka and I just had this pedal, RFO, Electronics. Those two guys making some cool modules. Stokka has the delay module. We were saying if you put the Klon and the delay in there, you got it.
You can get a lot done.
Right. So with that, hey, thanks for watching. I think we're going to wrap this up. I think Pat might actually want to take it for a spin after we do. But if you hit that subscribe button, click notification bell, leave a comment, any of that stuff, that interaction is what helps us interact with cool people like Eric over at Stokka Engineering and bring in cool stuff to share with you. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of The Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.